The KXAN News Podcast is sponsored by Shelf Genie.
The new study ranking Austin high on the list for housing market growth, why Austin is at the top and what other Texas cities made the top 10. And we bring you to the red carpet as the CMT Music Awards take place in Austin for the first time. But before we dig into those stories, we have meteorologist Nick Bannon here with us to tell us about the severe weather potentially heading to central Texas. What are you tracking right now, Nick?
Yeah, so no severe storms just yet, but there are a couple nearby and also one developing in portions of the hill country that we want to track. The reason this is our focus, tornado watch issued for San Saba, Lampasas, and Milam counties until 11 o'clock here tonight. A tornado watch means the potential exists for severe storms to develop, potentially a tornado. The nearest tornado warning is actually just north of Milam County, so just outside of the KXAN viewing area. You can see that red box, that is a tornado warning, so just north of our area for now. The closest storm that we have to us here in central Texas is moving through San Saba County right now. Not super impressive at this point, not a severe storm, but it is a sign that isolated severe storms are possible, and generally the best threat for that is going to be north of Austin here tonight. We only have a low chance for a storm, but if a storm develops and strengthens, there is the chance for an isolated tornado, large hail, damaging winds, although we're not currently expecting flash flooding here today. Most of you stay dry tonight, but we want you weather aware, especially north and northwest of Austin going into this evening. Temperatures are spiking late in the day thanks to some late day sunshine. Middle 80s for many of us now, even some upper 80s in places like Mason where you've had more sun in the hill country. And as we take you into tonight, 20% rain chances and storm chances, generally to the north at 7, 82 degrees, dropping to 76 at 9. Rain chances drop to 10%, and we think by 11, any isolated storms that could carry late into the evening should be done by then, and we're all dry and 72. So coming up in first warning weather, we'll time out any isolated storm threat as we head later into the evening and show you how that could progress, as well as this tiniest little chance for a storm or two tomorrow, ahead of record heat to begin the week and then a very wet period to end the week.
Thanks, Nick. And because of all this, Governor Greg Abbott is activating state resources ahead of the risk of severe weather across the state. The Texas Division of Emergency Management has activated urban search and rescue teams, swiftwater boat squads, and the Texas Emergency Medical Task Force. In a statement, the governor said Texans should remain weather aware and heed the guidance of their local officials and have a plan set in place for themselves and their loved ones in case of an emergency. The CMT Music Awards are tonight, and for the first time, the ceremony will air live from Austin. Let's take a live look at the Moody Center, where the red carpet is underway right now with a bunch of celebrities. If I knew these people better in the country music world, I could point out some of them, but unfortunately I don't. Well, the guests at the awards can expect a star-studded night with performances from artists like Carrie Underwood, Keith Urban, and Cody Johnson. That show officially begins at 7 this evening. A new study by Smart Assets says 12 of the top 20 U.S. cities that ranked as the best housing markets for growth and stability are right here in Texas. Some of those Texas cities even made the top 10. Austin, the Austin Metro, ranked #1 overall, due in large part to home values seeing a heavy increase over the last 25 years, as we all know. Midland came in at #2 after seeing a major jump in home prices. Dallas ranked #8 with a boom in major companies making the area home for their headquarters. San Antonio came in at 9 with an accelerated rate of housing prices and population growth. And Houston topped out the top 10. With home prices increasing by over 200%. To see the full list, go to KXAN.com and click on this story. Still to come this evening, some state lawmakers look to legalize online sports betting. Why the effort could be squashed in the Texas Senate coming. As March Madness comes to a close, tens of millions of Americans waged on the games online. Legal or not, Texans have also taken part, which is why some state lawmakers are trying to legalize online sports betting. But as our Capitol correspondent Monica Madden reports, the effort could be game over in the Senate.
Making his radio rounds, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick threw a curveball at the prospect of legalizing sports betting.
From day one, we had zero support for casino gambling or sports betting.
Telling the Mark Davis Show he doesn't have the 2/3 votes needed for two different constitutional amendments that would legalize sports betting and casinos.
Unless I have 15, 16 Republicans, meaning it's a Republican-driven bill because we're in a Republican-driven state led by conservative Republicans, I'm not bringing a bill to the floor.
One of Patrick's top allies, however, Republican Senator Lois Kolkhorst, is sponsoring the sports betting bill.
I need to have consensus by the Republicans. Otherwise, it's a bill that the Democrats are passing. We don't do that in the Senate.
Meanwhile, in the House,
hundreds of thousands of our constituents, of citizens of all ages, including minors, who right now, today, especially with March Madness, are placing unsafe, unsecure, illegal, criminal bets very easily.
The sports betting bill took a timeout last week. It's left pending in committee.
And right now what we're seeing within the Republican Party is a split party.
Experts say the debates come down to a clash over business interest and conservative family values.
The lieutenant governor has serious qualms about the merits and benefits of gambling. That is, I think he sees the negative social consequences of gambling as often outweighing the revenue benefits that gambling provides.
Monica Madden, KXAN News.
And speaking of revenue, we are talking big money. The Texas Sports Betting Alliance estimates legalizing it could bring in $6 billion in revenue every year. Stay with us. We'll be right back with your forecast.
This KXAN News podcast is brought to you by Shelf Genie. I'm Rosie Newberry from KXAN Studio 512. Considering replacing your kitchen cabinets? Struggling to find or reach things? Go to shelfgenie.com/Austin. Shelf Genie designs custom pull-out shelves for your existing cabinets, adding convenience and value to the most used room in your home. Shelf Genie custom pull-out shelves, everything in reach.
First warning weather with meteorologist Nick Bannon.
All right, so no guarantee of severe weather here in Central Texas, but I wanted to lay out the picture for us. Most of the area is at a 2 out of 5 severe weather risk, including Austin. But you can see to the north of us is where the highest severe weather risk of the day is and into the evening. That's closer to Waco, Dallas, north of us. So while we have the potential for an isolated strong or severe storm to form, there's much more likely to the north of us, which is where the majority of the tornado watch is. This is the tornado, all the counties involved in a tornado watch. The orange boxes here are severe thunderstorm warnings, and then this red box here is a tornado warning that is north of the KXAN viewing area. But we have a few counties in our viewing area that are under a tornado watch, as we've already mentioned. For right now, things are quiet because the activity is staying to the north of us. We do have a couple of isolated showers, especially into San Saba County right now, but nothing that looks like it's about to become severe. Although with some late day sunshine, there could be enough destabilizing of the atmosphere to generate some stronger storms. This is basically the only area of concern in our viewing area right now. So generally northwest of Austin, we want you weather aware tonight, but we think the majority of the severe weather should stay to our north here as we head through the night. And a lot of our higher resolution computer models do keep most of the storms north of us, but a few may clip, say, portions of Milam, Lampasas, San Saba counties. Those are the counties most at risk here for a strong or severe storm tonight. Tomorrow morning, we start with some areas of low clouds and fog that lifts away to give us a lot of sunshine. We have added a slight 10% storm chance late tomorrow afternoon into the early evening. Mostly that would be north of Austin as well, but there is a slight chance that a storm could pop up with the heat of the day, and one of those storms may be strong or severe too, but they're just going to be so isolated tomorrow. So we'll only go with a 20% chance that you get measurable rain where you are here tonight. Overnight lows of 68. Most of us will stay dry with clouds increasing here through the night. Those morning clouds give way to a lot of sun tomorrow and record heat. We're forecasting a high of 93. The record high for tomorrow is 90, so we should beat that by a few degrees, and there's that 10% chance for a storm during the late afternoon and early evening. If a storm were to form, we could get a strong or severe storm here tomorrow afternoon and early evening. Lampasas, Burnett, northern Williamson County, parts of Milam County, even eastern San Saba County at that 1 out of 5 severe weather risk, damaging wind and hail being the primary concerns here tomorrow if those storms do develop. Most of us just stay dry and hot. 93 the high tomorrow, 90 again on Tuesday with more clouds Tuesday, potentially knocking the temperatures down. Then we get a strong cold front really bringing temperatures down more for Wednesday in the 70s, and then it's just 60s here for Thursday. That cold front ushers in some rain Wednesday morning and even into the early afternoon. Then we get a brief dry period before an overrunning weather pattern gives us daily rain. Thursday gets increasingly wet. Friday looks to be the wettest day of the next 7, but then the rain continues into next weekend. There's Saturday. Even Easter Sunday may feature some wet weather too, and the rainfall projections keep going higher. For the metro and our eastern counties, now it looks like 3 to 5 inches of rain over the next 7 days. Less so in the hill country, but still these amounts are higher, 1.5 to 3 inches. Beneficial stuff unless it comes too much too quickly. Look at our first warning weather 7-day forecast. You can see those 90s replaced by 70s and 60s as things get increasingly wet with rain likely Thursday and Friday.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
The Big 12 in women's basketball has been dominated by Baylor over the past 2 decades or so, but their coach, the ever unique Kim Mulkey, left to go to LSU. In just year 2 in the Bayou, Mulkey has her team back where she's comfortable, the national title game. This one just went final. Yeah, that's the outfit today. We will leave that up for interpretation. Jill Biden, Billie Jean King, and probably other famous rich people. I'm just not sure who they are. In attendance, Tigers up 3. Caitlin Clark with her second straight triple to tie it in the first quarter. How outstanding is she? But LSU says we got some players too. Second quarter though, Jasmine Carson, you can see the hair from a ways away, and that 3 ball, yeah, she's got the energy to back it up too. Last seconds of the first half, Carson, they'll find her again, just chuck it up. Why not? That kind of half for the Tigers. They're up 59-42 at the break. Iowa makes a run in the second half. You knew they were going to. Gabby Marshall 3 cuts it to single digits at 9 in the third. To the fourth quarter we go. It's an 11-point lead. Cade Martin, some Hawkeyes stepping up that are not Clark, gets it to 8, but the dagger here from Poole in the final 90 seconds. Mulkey starting to feel it. Emotional, understandably. The Tigers win the national championship. How about that? 102 points for LSU to win it all. Texas baseball in Stillwater, rubber match for the Longhorns against Oklahoma State. First inning, Garrett Gilmette. Doesn't even need to look at it. Outfielders probably could have saved some steps with their Apple Watch. Didn't even need to run for that one. 3-run home run, and they're feeling it early. Top of the 6th, the catcher for the other team in orange says, anything you can do, I can do almost as well. Chase Atkinson, 2-run homer off the pole. 3-2, we go to the 9th. Zane Morehouse trying to close another one out. They're using this guy a lot. Wild pitch, and we are even at 3. Always an adventure when he's in. He's been pretty solid, though, so far. But here, Nolan Schubert ends it. The walk-off. Oklahoma State takes this one and the series. We'll be right back talking about some Texas softball after this break. All right, facing Oklahoma in softball, something you'd find not many people that are particularly interested in, and for good reason. The Sooners have gone 148-8 over the past 3 seasons. That's pretty good. Texas has given OU one of those losses, trying to give them another one today. Second batter of the game, this, Mike, a good start. Mia Scott, long ball into right field, and that sold-out crowd not thrilled with that as Texas gets on the board first. Even at 1, and here comes Oklahoma. Tiari Jennings, 3-run homer, and those fans, that's selling it out. A bit more excited after that. Lou Gilbert with an RBI single in the 4th inning scores the outstanding freshman Viviana Martinez, but Texas ends up getting run-ruled in the 6th inning. Oklahoma sweeps after a valiant effort by the Longhorns. We'll be right back after this.
Nick, continuing to keep us up to date on the potential for severe weather.
Yes, and there's some nearby. Let me show you what the radar looks like. To the north of us, we've got a tornado warning just northeast of Milam County, but this particular tornado warning is not in the KXAN viewing area. There's just a couple of spotty showers moving through San Saba County now, moving eastward toward Lampasas County. We'll have to watch out for those, but those aren't severe at this point either. So we think most of the severe weather stays to the north of us tonight, but we still have that risk that we'll keep watching. Here's the 7-day record heat to start the week, and then we get real wet by Wednesday, possibly into much of Easter weekend.
All right. Thanks, Nick, and thank you for watching, everyone. Hope to see you back here at 10 o'clock. Have a great evening.